Welcome to another episode of our ongoing Thought Leadership and Loyalty series. Today we have Peter Lim, the CTO and co-founder of Stellar Loyalty, which delivers some of the most powerful and most complete loyalty solutions in the market. Peter, thank you for being here today. So first question is, what is the biggest challenge that hospitality and restaurant brands face today when creating measurable customer experiences to drive loyalty?
Well, the key word here is experiences. Consumers have more choice than ever, so brands are recognizing that they need to deliver unique, personalized experiences that differentiate them from their competitors. Our consumers want to know that their brands understand them and deliver time and context that is appropriate to each guest. If I'm a tea drinker, then please don't entice me with coffee. It just doesn't work. Another huge trend that we see is that consumers want a consistent, unified digital and physical brand experience. For many restaurants, the front door is moving or already has moved from the physical store to the digital world. Physical location and physical presence is still super important, of course, but consumers, especially the younger ones, are choosing their restaurants online on Google, Yelp, and ordering sites. So brands must invest in their digital presence and ensure a seamless experience from digital to physical. If I order ahead online, then I expect the order to be ready when I arrive at the store. And if I eat in, then I expect my purchase to show up in my digital account in real time.
And from a technology perspective, what do you see as the key technology to achieve this level of guest experience?
Wow, it's like the most exciting time, I think, to be in the technology space and to help brands do these things. But I think there are several hurdles, I'll talk about 3 of them, for delivering these new guest experiences. The first one is siloed systems. Over the years, brands have purchased best-of-breed point solutions for their front of house. If you talk to any hospitality brand today, they have an email provider, a push SMS provider, a CRM system, definitely a point of sale, hopefully only one, sometimes like 4, a points and rewards provider, a digital ad buying system, a gift card processor, 3 or 4 third-party ordering systems, and the list goes on. On average, each brand has 7 to 10 of these front-of-house systems that they must integrate. We know this wasn't planned. It happened over time. But I'll just say it. This is insane. Worse, the heavy maintenance of these siloed systems prevent brands from investing in new innovations. If you look back in history, just 2 decades ago, companies assembled their own financial and HR systems. In the 1980s, that's what people did. They built GLs and ARs and APs. And in the 1990s, people built their own CRM systems and call centers. Nobody does this anymore. Companies buy their financial and HR solutions from a single vendor. And we believe the same thing is now happening in the restaurant and hospitality industries. These industries are now going to find solutions that they can just purchase and integrate in from one vendor. The second item is what I call stuck data. Just as the brands have moved from physical stores to digital, the data has to move from the physical store to the internet. Brands have a treasure trove of guest data, but most of it is locked in POS systems in the store. Some brands I've met have 5 to 7 years of guest data stored in their back-of-house servers. Moving this data to a place where it can be easily more analyzed and harvested is key. I'm also encouraged to see that legacy POS vendors are starting to think outside the store, so their guests can have digital access to their data and transactions from anywhere in the world. I just wish the POS vendors could move a little bit faster. And the third and last thing is that brands are just slow to change and not nearly nimble enough. They need technology that can change faster than ever before, and so that they can handle the different consumer tastes that are changing overnight. Brands need to make sure that they have a technology solution that can adapt and change fast. What does this mean? In the old days, we IT people, including myself, would write code for everything. You want to change something, we'd write code. You want to change something else, we'd write code. These days, in the new world, you have to be content-centric. You need to be able to adapt your offers, your prices, your rewards, your surveys, your images, your messages, everything based on the current demand of the consumer and whatever the guest signals you can capture. And ideally, you can apply intelligence, here in Silicon Valley, they always talk about machine learning and AI, to assist marketers in optimizing all this content in near real time.
And we know that competition is pretty fierce in the restaurant business. What are some of the biggest opportunities for those brands today?
Well, there's a lot, but I think personally the biggest opportunity is to increase revenues and restaurant utilization by expanding the digital footprint. An extra 10 checks or orders a day flows directly to the bottom line of a restaurant without adding labor or physical costs. This can increase your store revenues by 10% and double your gross profits. That's a lot of money. Having a guest go from 3 visits a month to 4 visits a month increases his or her spend by 33%. That's significant. These are real tangible numbers, but brands cannot achieve this with another Me Too solution. If you look at old marketing programs, many of which are still in place today, they'll send you an email on your birthday, maybe give you a $5 coupon for every $100 you spend. But your next 3 neighboring restaurants, they offer exactly the same thing. So if I'm a consumer, I can't differentiate. They all look the same to me, and I'm not incented anymore. There's no personalization. Everyone is treated the same. If you look at the new marketing programs that have been coming out over the last few years, they focus on understanding their customers by collecting every single item purchased down to the condiment, like ketchup, mayonnaise, kale, what they put on the burgers. They track every email and the Facebook click. They know your visit to every location. And then they use all this data processed in milliseconds to incent the frequent high-spend guest differently from the infrequent visitor. For example, one of our restaurant customers learned that 7% of their guests bring in 20% of the revenue. So it's super important to keep those guests satisfied and coming back to the store with offers, news, and events that appeal to these high-spend guests. Even the simple things should be personalized. If your program is still sending the same email and push messages to all your guests, then it's time for an upgrade. If your program is delivering the same offers to every guest, then you are just wasting a marketing opportunity. Today's solutions now let you easily target guests based on their recent purchases, visits, and other behavioral signals. In short, leading brands deliver unique personalized programs, not boring cookie cutter or Me Too programs that are not going to deliver measurable bottom line returns to the business.
If you could recommend one thing to a client or even a prospective client in this space, what would that be?
It's a good question. So the first thing I would do is I would pick and invest in a provider who can deliver a modern, complete, content-centric front-of-house solution. And this will enable the brand to blend the physical and digital experiences for your guests. You want a partner that is thinking ahead, not satisfied with the status quo of free birthday rewards or $5 coupons, and a partner that has a proven playbook of best practices to drive innovation. And you ask for one thing, I'll just kind of sneak in a second one. But there's a second one I think that's also important is that brands need to innovate quickly. They need to think about how to be nimble, to be able to try new things and improve the programs. And more importantly, they need to use the guest data to guide their decisions. You will be surprised by what your guests respond to. And yes, of course, you must have, as a brand owner, you must have a point of view for your brand's program. But be open to what the data tells you because it is actually pretty interesting data that your guests tell you.
How sophisticated are the customer experience and customer loyalty initiatives of most restaurant brands today? So maybe those who are on a very beginning stage to those who are really able to integrate everything and make it really seamless. Where do brands exist along this spectrum?
Yeah, there's definitely a wide spectrum for that. So we have done a competitive analysis across QSR and fast casual brands. And in fact, we have designed a maturity model to compare these programs in terms of level of maturity and execution effectiveness. So for example, the levels of maturity range from basic email only, newsletter, signups, we call that level 1, to level 5, where brands are transforming their businesses to create customer experiences that are frictionless, immersive, compelling, and unique. Across the board, we are surprised at how many brands are only at level 1. There are a range of good level 3 programs, but we find execution, especially as it relates to mobile apps and the experience, to be low. Few are close to level 5, but there are a few that are doing well there. One example of a brand who has created a unique program is Old Chicago Pizza with their OC rewards. The core of their program is their World Beer Tours, where they encourage guests to try 110 beers because they have a ton of different beers from all over the world at each of their restaurants. You will be surprised at how many of their guests actually complete the tour for 110 beers. It's a total success and brings guests back to Old Chicago over and over again. They are forward-thinking in both the program design, customization by the location, by state, and advanced in how to execute this effectively. We are fortunate to work with Old Chicago to help them raise the bar with the latest technology and continue to outpace their competition. Um, that's just one example, and there's many other, level 5 examples that we can also talk about later.
All right, great. And things have been changing so quickly across all industries. What are some of the biggest technological changes that have been affecting customer loyalty in the restaurant industry?
Well, mobile and location are two obvious ones. People have been talking about that for at least 2 or 3 years. But my favorite one is what I call infinite computing. This is the more significant one, I believe, that is going to change the restaurant and the hospitality industries. So Amazon and Google have made computing pretty much free. Storage is cheap, computing is free. You can and should be collecting as much data about your guests as you can. It's simple. We believe that the brands that have more data about their guests will win in the long term. Data is the new digital oil. It's a game changer. And with the data in an easily accessible place, it becomes easy to analyze, segment, and harvest that data. Brands now can have insight in real time and in milliseconds. And in the Stellar Restaurant Cloud, we have the out-of-the-box restaurant analytics dashboards that we curated from what our customers have found to be the most effective ways to incent and interact with their guests. Brands can see performance indicators in real time by order channel, by day part, by product category, by store. They can quickly create segments, target specific consumer groups, and evaluate campaign effectiveness, including making changes while the campaigns are running.
And what would you say are some of the most significant changes that a restaurant or a hospitality brand can make now to improve their loyalty program?
Good question. I think the number one thing that the brands have to do is they need to start thinking outside the box. So first of all, of course, you have to focus on the business outcomes and how you can deliver delight and value to keep your guests returning to your restaurant or hotel. But it starts with designing a program based on a well-defined strategy. Many brands opt for the easy cookie cutter program, like the one I mentioned, free birthday rewards, $5 coupons for every $100. These programs are commodity programs and will deliver poor results because they do not stand out from your competition. Throwing more money into the same ineffective program will not move the needle. If you haven't reviewed your program strategy, economics, and mechanics in the last 12 months, then I think it's time for you to evaluate the effectiveness of your program. See what innovative programs like Panera, Starbucks, and Old Chicago are doing. One example of a stellar loyalty hospitality brand that is doing things differently is Green Tree Inn. They have a membership model, so rather than what many hotels do, where the guests earn benefits after each visit, Green Tree members pay an annual fee and have a cashback reward at the end of the year, room rate discounts, upgrade perks, and a host of other benefits, regardless of the number of nights they stay at the hotel chain. This is a unique way to encourage the member to be loyal. For Green Tree Inn, we have integrated their Sabre hospitality system for room booking and PayPal for payment, so guests have a seamless digital to physical experience. Finally, it's extremely important to measure your results. You must set key performance indicators, and these must be concrete metrics that you can objectively measure day to day, week to week, so that you can see whether your program is working or not working.
And finally, what do you see as the future of customer loyalty in the hospitality industry? Where do you see things going?
Yeah, I'm so excited about the restaurant and the hospitality industries and how we can blend digital and physical. We see brands like Panera take a leadership role in many facets, such as changing the rewards to a surprise and delight model, entirely based on the consumer purchases and preferences. Panera also recognizes that consumers do not want separate apps for ordering versus loyalty. Just like Starbucks, Panera delivers a seamless and frictionless experience for the customer from reorder, pickup, payment, loyalty, offers, engagement, and rewards. All of this is all running in one single app, and that makes it super easy for the Panera customer to buy more from Panera. Some brands, I think, are looking at location-based technology for check-in when their loyal members come into the restaurant. With this, you can deliver the in-the-moment offers to increase order size and deliver relevant messages and recognition. Engagement tied to consumer preferences and passions is another key driver of frequency. We see this with brands such as Dunkin' Donuts and Taco Bell, among others, who offer consumers extra perks related to outcomes of their home sports teams, for example, if the Giants win a game, or digital punch cards such as Starbucks to increase the frequency of visits. All of this is powered by guest data. Brands that can collect, harvest, and use guest data will gain market share and increase their revenues. That's the key to the future, I believe, and that future starts now.
Wonderful, Peter. Well, thank you for talking to us today. And thank you for all of your insights.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
For more episodes in our ongoing Thought Leadership and Loyalty series, visit loyalty360.org.